X back with another video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. And as the title suggests, this is What If Naruto Was a Prodigy, Part 1. Make sure to like, share the video to a friend who likes videos, just anime content in general. Watch to the end if you can. Subscribe if you're new here, as I want to hit 9K by August and 14K by the end of the year. Check out my second channel in the description down below, where I also make pretty good videos in my opinion, as well as discussion videos on things like One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and other series, of course. But that out of the way, hope you guys all enjoyed today's video, and this video is off script, so sorry if I stutter a little, but that out of the way, hope you guys all enjoy. Naruto in this timeline is going to be raised by Hiruzen, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be a prodigy. First, we need to establish how Naruto can become a prodigy. And how I think we can easily do that, or how I think I can easily do that, is by making Naruto get the gene. You may be confused what I mean by get the gene, and I mean that Boruto in the series Naruto Boruto Next Generations, he is a prodigy, and that is, well, that is clearly shown. But why? If Naruto was so, weak as he was a child, or sorry, not weak, because Naruto as a child was very strong, but I should say dumb, why would Boruto be so smart? No, I'm not saying he not as a pushover, not in any way, but, it makes no sense why Boruto would be so skilled, even skilled enough that I'd say he could rival some Chunin, at least when we first see him. So why was that? In my opinion, I think Minato's, prodigal gene skipped Naruto and just hit Boruto. I think that's just pretty simple for me to infer. There's probably some other explanation, but that's just my personal opinion, of course. I don't know if you guys agree, but, so Naruto's gonna get that gene. It's not gonna skip Naruto, it's gonna hit Naruto directly, and Naruto's gonna get the gene of being a prodigy. So Hiruzen in his timeline is going to take Naruto in. I don't know what difference, Hiruzen's going to have that's going to make him want to take Naruto in, as opposed to actually not in the canon. But he's just going to. We're going to say it's a change of heart, right? Naruto's going to grow up with Konohamaru being his younger brother and Asuma being his older brother. Kakashi's also going to be a big figure in Naruto's life, acting almost like an uncle figure to Naruto. Naruto in this timeline is going to be very skilled with kunai and shuriken, having a natural or an almost innate usage of them, being very skilled with them, even on the level of some Uchiha with the Sharingan. And not only that, Naruto would know the Shadow Shuriken Jutsu and the Shadow Clone Jutsu at the age of 6. Naruto also at the age of 6 would learn the Wind-style chakra nature, and on his own would figure out the trick with Shadow Clones. You see, he's a very good prodigy in here, This Naruto, just so you guys know, is going to be a bit overpowered, but I think that's kind of expected with Naruto being a prodigy and all, right? Either way, Naruto's gonna be able to master swordsmanship, and from 4 to 10, he would be able to learn all 5 chakra natures. Being a prodigy doesn't mean that you get all 5 chakra natures. I think that's simple. I think, well, basically everybody would know that, but Naruto's gonna have all 5. And at the age of 11, Naruto would be skilled enough and, well, skilled enough that he would be able to be a Chunin at the age of 11, and eventually he would gain the respect of each member of the village, being classified by other nations as Naruto the Night Owl. You see, Naruto preferred to strike at night, contrary to most ninja who like to prefer, striking in day, but, he took the stealthy approach. Naruto would also learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu, just like in canon, like I said before, but this time it's going to be the multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu at the age of 11. You see, he kind of did have the Shadow Clone Jutsu, but, it was imperfected. It was kind of bad. Naruto's chakra control here is going to be a lot better, judging by the fact that he's a prodigy. How is that going to happen? Through many vigorous and hard training exercises to control his chakra, because he does have the 9 tails. I'm not taking that away from Naruto. It's very hard for Naruto to do, but he's able to get his chakra control to the level of Naruto and Shippuden, which I think is not too much chakra control, but enough so that he can perform jutsu with ease and things of the sort. He can regulate his chakra, the regular. Naruto, at this age, would then have about a year of use with the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and many other jutsu, where he would start to get a name for himself, a big name, not just Naruto the Night Owl, but in some places where Naruto had many exploits, and by that I mean many, victories, if you will, in places that knew of Naruto's skill, he was regarded as Naruto the Great, and that is no easy task, especially in foreign villages and not even your own. Eventually, Naruto would even be congratulated from the person he called father, that being Hiruzen, who could clearly see Naruto's skill and was glad that Naruto had blossomed into such a great ninja, somebody who Hiruzen himself was very proud of and could, do nothing but smile whenever Naruto had completed a mission or whenever Naruto had done something to surprise him. It almost seemed as if Hiruzen was always being surprised by Naruto. He was almost like a jack of all trades. Naruto eventually would be forced onto Kakashi's team, or a team. You see, I kind of gave it away, but he's joining Team 7, or he's joining Kakashi's team, whatever you want to call it, because of his relationship with Kakashi. Even though he does have this relationship, he's not guaranteed victory. You see, Kakashi's not going easy on Naruto. Anyhow, Naruto would be explained the rules of the bell test, and the introductions would go similar. You see, Sakura and Sasuke would say the same things, just like in canon, though a big difference with Sasuke is that he's going to be a lot more stronger, and he's going to talk a bit more, I guess you could say, strong. Like, he's not going to be as childish, if you will, and nor is Naruto, but that's because Naruto, being an academy student at one point, and rising above Sasuke, who thought he was the, I guess you would say, strongest of them all, was very surprising for Sasuke and made him want to try harder. Because if this kid, this person who, at least in Naruto's mind, does not belong to any noble clan, of course we know he does belong to a noble clan, that being Uzumaki and kind of the Senju, and the Nomikaze, which is a clan, but it's not really noble. Anyhow, and Sasuke seeing this kid who he thinks doesn't belong to a noble clan rise up and become a Chunin at the age of 11, whereas he was stuck at the academy up until he was 8 years old through 12, he was very surprised, and it made him work a lot harder. But unfortunately for Sasuke, it wasn't enough to, graduate early. Either way, Sasuke would be a lot stronger here. And Sakura would do a little bit of training just so she didn't really get passed by too many people in the academy, and so that she could impress Sasuke a little bit more, because his expectations were a bit higher because he was a bit stronger. Anyhow, Naruto would then say this for his introductions, that is. Kakashi would, of course, ask him his dreams and all that stuff, right? And Naruto would say that he likes to train. He likes to eat ramen because ramen is very good for carbohydrates, and carbs are good for training. Naruto also likes to play with Konohamaru and teach him new jutsu that Naruto learns. Naruto also likes to learn from his older brother, Asuma, as Sasuke's jaw would drop. Older brother? Asuma? You mean the Jonin? Sasuke thought to himself, as Naruto would continue. And, for my dislikes, I hate people who think that they can just be. What do you mean by that, Naruto? Kakashi would ask. Well, people who are lazy. You see, some people can do so much more. They have so much potential. They could even become Kage if they tried hard enough. Heck, Kakashi, weren't you a Jonin at the age of, 10? Or, no, I thought you were much younger. And I think you are. Or, sorry, my words are getting all messed up. It's fine, Naruto, take your time. Anyhow, you were able to become a Jonin at a very young age. And using you as an example, if people try hard enough, if people train hard enough, if people push If people push beyond their limits, they can do just about anything in this world. That's why my dream is to become Hokage. That's my only goal. Why do you want to become Hokage, Naruto? Because if I can become Hokage and gain the respect of every single person in the village, then I can live up to my father's expectations. Maybe I can even become the strongest Hokage. Sorry, it's not my right to say that. No, Naruto, go on. Maybe I'll be able to get even stronger than my father. And maybe I'll be able to get even stronger than the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. Well, those are some pretty good dreams and likes and dislikes, Naruto. Anyhow, you three, meet here tomorrow for the bell test. What's that, Naruto and Sasuke would ask at basically the same time, as Kakashi would explain. The bell test is an exam so that you guys can actually become Genin. You see, you guys did pass the academy, but only Naruto would be able to actually, continue going on missions and continue to be a ninja because he's already a Chunin. But the rest of you, that being you, Sasuke, and you, Sakura, you guys would be sent back to the academy. Actually, I have a note in my pocket, Naruto. Kakashi would then pull out this note as he would look at it. Even though you are a Chunin, is what this reads from your father, Hiruzen. What? Sasuke would say out loud. Your father is Hiruzen? Like the third Hokage? Calm down, Sasuke. Yes, he is. Can you wait to talk? I'm trying to speak here. I am your sensei. Show some respect. Yes, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi would then continue. Even though you are a Chunin, and you deserve to be one, if you fail these, or I guess you could say, the bell test, you will be sent back to the academy. You don't get some free pass for already being a Chunin. Naruto's jaw would drop. Wait, what? But I'm a Chunin. I deserve to be one. Even if I fail, that shouldn't mean anything, should it? If you're a Chunin, then you shouldn't have any problem with this, should you, Naruto? I guess you're right. Naruto's whole demeanor would change as he wouldn't be as surprised anymore, and he'd just kind of go back to his, chill self, if you will, because Naruto's a lot more chill here, less rambunctious, and he's been on many missions, so, he already has a lot of his morals already set out, and things of that sort. He has his ninja way already paved, because he's been on missions, like I said before. Anyhow, Kakashi would then tell them all to not eat, as he would then disappear, and then reappear using body flicker, of course, as that's, from at least my point of view, the only teleportation jutsu that Kakashi has. Kakashi would then say to all of them that he hopes that they can all thrive in this test. That would give them all, a new motivation, if you will, as they would now all be fired up. Even Sakura, somebody who was pretty, pretty mellowed out, somebody who wasn't really rambunctious at all, somebody who didn't present a lot of energy, if you will, is what I'm trying to say, was very happy and now had motivation to win. Also, I just want to get this out there. Kakashi is less, dark, if you will. He's more, catered to being a sensei and a kind one at that. That's why he gave these words of encouragement. He also didn't want Sakura and Sasuke relying on Naruto because he was a Chunin. He wanted them to all, do their own thing and just be able to, do that. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But, with that out of the way, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would all arrive the next day, not eating. Naruto in this timeline did bring some snacks, though, as he knew Kakashi was going to be late. Because if Kakashi didn't show up, then he would eat. But if he did show up, then he wouldn't. And, well, knowing his, I guess you could say uncle, he knew that he would be late. So, he had brought some snacks. Naruto would share some of his snacks, those being rice crackers, with and in my opinion, rice crackers are pretty good, with Sasuke and Sakura, who would kindly accept Naruto's crackers, as they were pretty good. Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke would all eat up, as their strength would be, I guess you could say, replenished, as they hadn't ate and they slept, so they were kind of hungry. Being hungry puts you at a disadvantage in a fight, so, they'd be more replenished, if you will, or more nutrients. They'd have a lot more nutrients. Point is, anyhow, we can now begin the bell test. Kakashi would get into a fighting stance as he held his book. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would all, get into fighting stances. Even Sakura here would get into a fighting stance because, well, like I said before, she was pumped, motivated, and ready to fight Kakashi, ready to grab the bells. But Naruto was a bit naive here. He knew he didn't really know. What I'm trying to say is that he knew that Kakashi had done this bell test before. That was kind of obvious for Naruto because, well, Kakashi's his uncle. So he kind of has seen people, and actually everybody who's taken it before himself, fail. But he also didn't know what the objective was. Did everybody fail because Kakashi was too strong? But he knew that wasn't true because he had watched one of the bell test exams that Kakashi had held, and it wasn't about strength. Naruto knew that. So what was it about? Naruto pondered this as he got into his stance. And Sasuke just pondered about he and Naruto grabbing the bells, as he didn't think Sakura would be able to get them. And, well, right he was. Anyhow, Naruto would then charge towards Kakashi as he and Kakashi would clash. This was a normal thing to Naruto. Basically, this was pretty normal for Naruto because he sparred with Kakashi almost every week. So him fighting against a Jonin was kind of commonplace for Naruto. So he would continue to fight Kakashi as both of them would jump back, creating distance between one another. Naruto would then do a hand sign as he would tell Kakashi that he hasn't even seen the least of his power. What do you mean by that? Kakashi would ask. You see, I've been holding a lot of secrets because I knew that one day I'd have to face you in full power, Kakashi. I see. Now, get ready for this jutsu. Multi-shadow clone jutsu. 100 shadow clones would appear. But in a quick burst, 100 more would appear. What is this? Kakashi thought to himself. Good amount of shadow clones, Naruto. I think even I can't create this many. Kakashi thought to himself. What might Naruto be planning? Well, enough of Naruto. Kakashi would then turn his head as he would see Uchiha-style fireball jutsu hurling towards him. This was Sasuke in an effort to, get Kakashi while he was focusing on something else. But Kakashi, being a skilled Jonin, could sense Sasuke before he even fired off the jutsu. Eventually, Kakashi would block as he would then jump back before the fireball could hit him. He would send off another fireball, or a fireball of his own, if you will, which would clash with Sasuke's. And Kakashi, I think, in my personal opinion, is better with the fireball jutsu, as he's had it for a much longer time. And even though Sasuke is an Uchiha, he's innately stronger with it, you know the deal. I still think Kakashi would overwhelm Sasuke's fireball, so much so that Sasuke would now have to be dealing with a fireball coming towards his way. Sasuke would quickly run out of the direction of the fireball, as it would kind of just spiral out of control and hit into a few trees, causing a bit of fire. Kakashi would then throw a paper bomb at that same tree, as he would say that he can't have any forest fires starting. Even though an explosion could cause fire, it did not, as Kakashi was able to keenly hit the tree in a place where it wouldn't catch fire, if you will. Kakashi would then direct his attention back to Naruto as he was interrupted again. Ha! Sakura would yell out as she would run towards Kakashi. Kakashi would now look behind himself again as he would see Sakura rushing towards him. What a bunch of vigorous scanning, Kakashi thought to himself as he would grab Sakura's kunai, flipping him or flipping her over herself and basically flipping her onto the ground. Sakura would then pant heavily as she would get back up, now trying to punch Kakashi, who would grab this punch, directing it to her side as Sakura would try to kick Kakashi, who would grab this kick, tossing Sakura to his side, to his left side to be more exact. Naruto would then yell out, "Kakashi, you done getting distracted?" You see, in the time that Sasuke was distracting Kakashi, Naruto had been making hand signs. And in the time that Sakura, sorry for the, Sakura, Sasuke. Anyhow, in the time that Sakura was distracting Kakashi, Naruto had managed to actually, use the jutsu, if you will. And while Sasuke was distracting Kakashi, he had been making the hand signs for it. This jutsu is known as the 5 Chakra Natures Jutsu, Naruto style. You see, in the 5 Chakra Natures Jutsu that we're seeing, it takes 5 Shadow Clones that all use the 5 Chakra Natures and fire it off at once. But Naruto, he's up the ante a lot. 50 Shadow Clones would come to, north of Kakashi, so in front of him. Now, there would now be 50 to his left, 50 to his right, and 50 behind him. He plans to overwhelm me? All 200 of Naruto's Shadow Clones would shoot out jutsu from Earth style, Wind style, Water style, Fire style, and even Lightning style, as they would all hit Kakashi, who would be overwhelmed by this attack. Now on his knees, and with his clothes being all battered up, as they were almost ripped to shreds by Naruto's jutsu. Naruto would then pant a little, as his clones would all fall on their knees, all panting as well. Almost as if it was a music presentation, if you will. They were kind of like the orchestra. Anyhow, Naruto would then tell Kakashi to give him the bells, and Kakashi would shake his head, "No, I can't just give you these." Kakashi would then make the hand signs for the water style, water dragon jutsu. I also want to note here, due to Kakashi training with Naruto, he's a bit stronger. We were never really shown Kakashi training with anybody else in the time where Naruto was born to the time that Naruto joined Team 7. So I think Kakashi would get marginally stronger by an unquantifiable amount, but a decently quantifiable amount. By about 1.63 times. That's gonna come into play later on, probably in the Land of Waves arc. But with that out of the way, I'll continue. Naruto would then decide that since Kakashi had launched a water-style water dragon jutsu, he would do the same as he would do so. Kakashi's water dragon would best Naruto's, as it would kind of just consume it, as we've seen water dragons do that, where they kind of constrict one another, as the water dragon that Kakashi used and Naruto's water dragon would just return to water, as it would fall into the soil, almost creating a rain effect, as it kind of rained into the soil down to the ground, if you will. Anyhow, Naruto would then rush towards Kakashi, trying to grab the bells, as Kakashi would duck out of the way. Naruto, realizing that he was now, blind, if you will, he had a blind spot open that Kakashi could take care of or take advantage of, would tell Sakura to grab the bells, and also telling Sasuke to grab the bells at the same time, as they would try to, but it was to no avail. Kakashi would easily jump back, creating distance between both he and his team of Genin, that being Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto. Kakashi would then tell them all that they did amazing. They're very skilled in the exam, and that they all pass. Naruto would be amazed. "I pass." Even though he had already become a Chunin, he was excited. He was ecstatic to now have a team that he could rely on, not to have to do things on his own, because that was usually what Naruto was doing, even though occasionally he was accompanied by other Chunin and other people who were Genin and things of the sort, even some Jonin at times, as Naruto has at this point done 1 S-rank mission, 1 A-rank mission, 3 B-rank missions, 2 C-rank missions, and 14 D-rank missions. You see, Naruto spends most of his time training. That's why he hasn't really completed as much missions, at least in my opinion, as a Chunin has. But he takes on the best of the best missions. That's why he's done S-rank missions. Though in his S-rank and A-rank missions, he was very, very close to dying. I'll get back to that later. And his B-rank mission. Not in this part, probably the next. But with that being said, Naruto Sasuke and Sakura would be happy. They would all go home as they would sleep with smiles on their faces. Kakashi would also be happy as his team had passed. The first team for him to pass ever. So he's pretty happy about that. Eventually, his team would do many D-rank missions as Naruto would stack up even more D-rank missions under his belt, eventually getting 25 D-rank missions now, as their team had basically done like 9 D-rank missions until Naruto and Sasuke got bored. They knew that they were much, better, if you will. They thought that they were much, I guess you could say, much more deserving than somebody like Sakura to get a D-rank mission. But even so, they wanted one nevertheless. That didn't really matter. But to them, they just were bored of it. They wanted a D-rank mission. So, Kakashi would talk to Hiruzen about it, and Hiruzen being Naruto's father, and knowing how strong Naruto is, adoptive father, of course, would let them go on the C-rank mission, to the Land of Waves. And eventually they would enter the Land of Waves, right? And they would work on the bridge until Haku and Zabuza showed up. And with that being said, this has been RamiX. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, share the video to a friend, likes videos, just my content in general. Comment down below your thoughts and feelings about the video, as well as what are suggestions. Subscribe if you're new here, as I want to hit 1K on my second channel, which is down below in the description. And I want to hit 9K on this channel, which is more important to me, if you will. I want to hit 9K by the end of August, and 14K by the end of the year. And with that being said,